Scroll up to the top.
That one's hilarious.
Everybody is on steroids. What a great picture.
It's so hilarious.
Meanwhile, they might be right.
Yeah, they might be right.
You know what I started watching last night? I don't know if you say it Icarus or Icarus.
It's on Netflix?
Yes. It's all about doping and this guy who is helping the Russian team to
Russians,
do it.
yeah.
There was one estimate that it was somewhere in the high 90s of Russian athletes are on performance-enhancing drugs.
That makes sense. That's my thing with this whole John Jones stuff. Like, I go back and forth. I'm going to quote our friend Eddie Bravo. When you look into it, that Tranabol, so many guys, article came out today, I think on Fox Sports, article came out today of this guy who's a minor league baseball player, and he's pro now, and he's tested twice for it positive and a third time, and he's waiting to see if he gets banned for life, because 3 strikes you're out in baseball, banned for life. And they're saying how many guys in baseball test hot for this Tranabol. And they say in GNC, they have 47 products at GNC that this can show up as.
Wow.
I know. So I saw that. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, but wait a minute. He's not supposed to be taking anything. You're talking about a guy who's already lost his ability to make a living from Mexican dick pills. Like, why would he ever just take something off the shelf at GNC?
Well, we're not giving the guy kudos because he's the smartest tool in the shed.
Sharpest
tool.
What
I say.
Smartest tool in the shed.
Well, tools are smart too. Might have smoked a little weed. You know what I'm saying? Though?
I do get
it. He might have been like, "Oh, I need energy. Give me this. What is that?"
Yeah, super
just some
energy
guy on the
drink.
front with bolts out of his neck, and he takes that.
Dude, the truth is I would never do steroids. I put that on my children. I put that on my Heavenly Father.
He did not bring Heavenly Father.
I love how we capitalize Heavenly and Father. Because for sure, do
Respect.
that.
Well, you don't want to go to hell.
Respect.
Jones
30 is facing up. Man, imagine if he comes back at 34 and still fucks everybody up.
But he's 260 pounds at heavyweight, just murks everyone.
Yeah, fuck all this cutting weight. Just go on a powerlifting rampage for the next 4 years. Keep your body in shape. He'll still fuck everybody up at heavyweight.
But if you look at that Tranabol, man, and you see how many guys test hot for it, and they're like, what the fuck? It's not in there. I can see Jones' argument a little bit. I know I go back and forth and I'm off the Jones train. But when I see that and I see how big of an issue it is in baseball, in minor league baseball, USADA and the commission might be like, fuck, look at all these guys, man. We got a real issue here. Maybe he did fuck up. So then I think there's no way they give him 4 years.
But I haven't heard of anybody else. I haven't heard of anybody else testing positive for this stuff in the UFC. Have you?
Is it the same stuff Frank Mir tests positive for? This is the other thing. Usually if a guy tests hot for something out of one of those major camps, other guys are going to test hot for the same stuff.
Unless he's getting it straight from the powerlifter guys.
Yeah, or his NFL brothers.
Didn't Frank Mir eat kangaroo? It was his tainted kangaroo meat, bro.
Was that the worst argument ever?
It was the worst ever. Because people don't even eat kangaroo.
You're a smart guy too.
I mean,
you're the smartest tool in the shed.
Some people eat kangaroo, but it's not common table fare in Australia.
Fuck no! I was just in Australia doing shows there. I didn't have a kangaroo burger. No, fuck no.
They eat venison and beef. Eating kangaroo.
Yeah, but did it say what he was flagged for?
This is my favorite part. However, he was still given a maximum punishment by USADA because he claimed he listed numerous potential sources for the positive test, including eating kangaroo meat while in Australia.
USADA's like, what? Get the fuck out of here. That's the best you got. We've heard a bunch of shit, but that's all you got.
Boy. You know what's interesting? It's like, how much does it help? How much, what? Think about, what these guys are doing. I mean, definitely steroids help, right? Steroids make you a better athlete. They allow you to recover.
Some say 10% better.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, though, because could John beat Daniel Cormier without that small dosage of Tranabol? Yes.
He could. That's what DC was saying. He was like, the guy doesn't need to do it. He's super talented. Doesn't need to do it.
I know. That's why when you look at the evidence, you're like, why this small amount of Tranabol, and you see all the other guys testing positive for it, how much would this really help him? Would he risk all this to take something piss hot? And it's really not helping that much? And then where do we stop? So right now we want to, and listen, I've been the fucking poster boy of making fun of John on this stuff, but in all seriousness, where do we say, all right, Most guys are doing it because there was this. I heard Luke Thomas talking about it. WADA, right?
USADA and WADA, yeah.
Yeah, WADA's the big one. I think in 2007 they did this survey of athletes, including fighters, that were going overseas and competing, and they asked them at a kind of under the radar how many guys are doing performance enhancing drugs. It was an alarming number, like 78%, and that's people. I bet it would be a little higher than that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to tarnish John's name, and he's not the greatest of all time, but it's like, okay, but then you pay to watch Overeem fight. You pay to watch Vitor Belfort fight. Like, we don't know exactly who's doing what.
Right, but if Overeem becomes a champ, I guarantee you if he pisses hot as a champ, people turn on him too.
No, I get it, but he's tested for way worse things than John has.
But he hasn't. We tested for testosterone, right? Didn't he? It was just testosterone.
Oh, my God.
He had elevated testosterone.
Well, you have to talk about the John Jones incident.
Bro.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I want to do? I was so heartbroken. However, I had a dude reach out to me, a smart guy who is
that knows about Turinabol, or
yes, who's balls deep in the potential steroid that he got busted for. So let me I'm gonna give my take on the John Jones thing, and I'm gonna get into what exactly this expert said. I don't want to give his name out because I don't want him to get a ton of hate, but this guy is brilliant with this, and I had no idea about this drug that he tested hot for. What a sad story. What a terrible story. I was more upset for John. I was brokenhearted because you have the best mixed martial artist of all time, and he's consistently good at two things. He's very good at two things, and he's consistent with these two things: beating people up and being a fuck up. That's what he's consistently good at. You know what? Let's add a third one and letting us down. We can always count on John for three things: beating everyone in the world at light heavyweight and probably heavyweight, being a fuck up, and letting us down. Those are the three consistent things with John Jones. I'm off the John Jones train. It's such a heartbreak. Here's another thing to take into to consider, I should say. Since USADA kicked in, John has failed 3 out of 4 tests. The one test he did not fail was that OSP fight. Yep. He looked like dog shit in that OSP fight. Let's be real. And he goes, it's because it was awkward. I didn't risk anything. I don't want to show anything against DC. I'm not buying that. You want to get in and out as fast as you can and not take damage. So it just taints everything that he's ever done. Where do you rank him now? What does it matter? Imagine if you're Daniel Cormier. You're on vacation in Hawaii. You're at a low point in your life. You just got murked. You know you're never going to beat John. You get a call from Dana White, and he goes, John pissed hot. You're the champ now. What? What are we talking about? How the hell is he the champ? And then he can never beat him. What's up? You're good. We can edit this.
Sorry.
You're good. All right. So the whole thing. So imagine DC on vacation. You get a call. Hey, John pissed hot. You're now the light heavyweight champ of the world again. DC's only losses are to John Jones. I mean, it's just such a shit show. And my biggest thing with this too is the UFC needs a star like John. Name another star besides Conor McGregor than John Jones. And go, Chin. Go through the champs right now. Let's go middleweight. Bisping. He's not a pay-per-view draw. Okay. Not at all. Let's go to welterweight. Who's your champ at welterweight? Woodley. Not a draw. Let's go to 55. Your champ's Conor, but he's out, playing grab ass in boxing world, so he's out. So you have an interim belt of Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. I love both those guys. Neither one's a draw. 45. You got Max Holloway. Not a draw. Again, I love all these guys as a fighter. They're all amazing athletes. I'm talking about being a pay-per-view draw. 135, Cody Garbrandt. Potential to be a next superstar. Looks the part, knockout artist, good-looking dude. Not a pay-per-view draw. Lower than that, you got DJ.
Not a draw.
We know where he's at with the draw. He's not a draw. So you have all these guys, they're not a draw. So John being out, who does this help? Can you guess who I'm going to say? Conor McGregor. It puts all the chips in Conor McGregor's corner now, and he can go after whatever happens with Floyd Mayweather fight. When Dana goes, hey man, we need you to fight. He goes, very cool, but those old terms we agreed to ain't happening. I'm worth this much now. I'm the only player in town. What else are you going to do? Now he has a monopoly on the UFC, which is hilarious to me, which is so hilarious to me.